Police car auctions Melbourne. Here's an interesting piece that was on the television investigative reporting channel of Channel 7. Superscript 2's Today Tonight television program on police car auctions. We could not gather if the police car auctions mentioned in the program were in Melbourne or a Sydney auction of stolen and impounded vehicles. Police car auctions are actively attended and many people have bought cars through police car auctions. There are some bargains at police car auctions, but, of course, police car auction buyers don't know the history of a car, such as a stolen vehicle that has been trashed, crashed and other damage incurred during a police chase, for example. Seized, impounded and being sold by auction houses. However, you don't know the history. RACS Royal Automobile Club of Australia has serious safety concerns about some of the auctions of motor vehicles being sold at police car auctions. There was a mention that we are putting dangerous vehicles back on our roads. The cars are generally dirt cheap at police car auctions, but the television piece showed Matt Brown had serious concerns about the safety of motor cars bought at police car auctions. Speaking on behalf of the RAC, he was concerned that people think police car auctions are thought of as an option of some people to get a cheap motor vehicle. There were concerns about the unlicensed cars being put out there for sons and daughters who had just gotten their license, and although say in Victoria the cars would have to be put over the pits and pass safety certifications and make the cars roadworthy fix for roadworthy certificate, putting new tires on the car and fixing the oil leaks, Matt Brown of the RAC still suggested that the car was still unsafe in the event of an accident. Police car auctions vehicles were tested were two seized cars bought at police car auction. A Commodore sedan and a Hyundai Excel, both $1,990. Superscript 2's models from purchase at a police car auction to the track for testing of the motor vehicle and demonstration for the show. Matt mentioned that you cannot run the vehicle before purchase. Buying at police car auctions is buying the cheap cars on an as-is basis. Andrew Hadfield from the RAC also said it's not the car's manufacturers, but the previous owners of the cheap car that is the problem and subject of the investigation of the media piece. First to test the Holden Commodore, plenty of people were at the car auction and Andrew from the RAC picked up the vehicle for $850. Next to go under the car auction hammer was the second vehicle, the Hyundai, both vehicles which were bought at auction by the RAC. Tested first were the brakes in the Holden Commodore with the aim of seeing how the brakes work in an emergency. The car on a braking test was a failure, as shown in the video. In slow motion you see the car fishtail under braking. Fishtailing of the motor vehicle under braking might increase the chance of rollover. The other test was an emergency lane change in the motor cars. The driver was doing 50 km/h and then tried a lane change, and the car felt that it would roll, and Dave, the testing driver, was certain an inexperienced driver in the event of a similar situation would lose control of the police car auction motor vehicle. Testing of the Today Tonight police car auctions. Buys? This is the problem of buying police car auctions, not only in terms of the chassis but the car accessories that may have been added to the motor vehicle. Found on the police car auction vehicles purchased by Today Tonight were driver's seat belt fraying and mentioned steering wheel replaced. Generally, you don't know how well the previous owners have maintained the vehicles if the police car auction vehicle were seized directly from the owners. Under the car, engine oil was spotted all over the exhaust, that could cause a fire to the motor car. The suspension of the car bought at the police car auction was looked at, to review the fishtailing of the car under braking. The car has no suspension and the brakes were shot. And for the car to pass the inspection under the pits, the Commodore would have to have 5 times approx the purchase price paid at the police car auction, to get the car on the road. With a Hyundai, the inspection under the car was typical of a stolen vehicle that had been crashed. Then the inspector was concerned that the car has no longer a safety crumple zone. The estimated repair bill to get the car back on the road was again substantially more than the car's purchase price at the auction house. Disposal of cars that have been impounded by the police that are going or not Repossessed car auctions Melbourne, police seized auctions Melbourne, police auctions Melbourne, Fowls car auctions Melbourne, Pickles, car sales, motorcycle auctions Melbourne, government auction. In the end, a police car auction may not be a bargain. The RAC doesn't want to see police car auction vehicles back out on the road. If you're looking for a cheap way to acquire a great vehicle, local police car auctions may be the perfect solution. There certainly are a number of events held by the local police department in your area, in order to reduce the number of cars they seize or impound every year. The auctions may be held on a monthly or annual basis depending on availability of stocks. Police car auctions Melbourne.